Move this back some. Hi guys. So I decided to pop in for a Monday message. Now Monday is usually the day when I'm doing like my me stuff because Monday is a moon day, lunar day. Hold on, let me turn this down in the background. There we go. A Reiki video playing in the background of this, calling in infinite blessings and opening the flow of your heart to gratitude or to have a grateful heart. That's sort of the theme of Monday. It's like nurturing, caring for yourself, which is why I decided to think with that day as something that I would do for myself. Like today, I washed my hair and I didn't oil it till it was all slick. Because y'all notice in most videos, I'll be like trying to fix my hairline, but it's because I put so much oil in it so it'll grow really quick because that's like my dedicated task right now, that it makes me look all like a greasy Italian old guy and bald. But I was like, today I want to see what all my work is paid off for. What does my hair look like without the oil? So I didn't even think I was going to be doing a video for y'all now. I'm always doing videos somewhere in the background. But I got called here because I'm like, is this a fable? Some moral? Some message though? Now I'm going to pull cards, and I have gained enough experience to know that whatever I pull from the cards is likely going to back up what's in the message. So let me just go ahead with this thing that like got planted. Uh, Today's message that I'm doing on my main Facebook page where I write like all my big thoughts is about relationships and the fact that the imbalance in relationships right now and human sexuality and the connection between the sexes is throwing off everything. Whole planet, just we are in the upside down. The patriarchy putting all their power or all their energy into making sure they were in power, disempowered the feminine, and is in turn destroying the earth because that's not their modality. Moon Day is the feminine energy. It is receptive. It is opening. It is receiving. It is the thing that helps the warrior calm down. And what just popped in my head now was like a girl worth fighting for, like in Mulan, where they just wanted something to go home to, somebody that could cook, even though that, like, you know what I mean? It's the idea of somebody or something that you were willing to give your life for that makes you fight for something bigger, right? So the world is very Martian right now, very selfish, very capitalist, very based on root needs, lust, money, survival. There's a term from Darwinism, survival of the fittest, right? That's like a whole branch. Everybody is in that survival mode. Or how about most people? Since I can't separate us like this, separation is an illusion, right? And we are all being created as a whole class. I have to say we, although I know there are people who are trying to be in their best place, majority are not. With the root chakra being your base that controls the reptilian brain that's in the back, that is 90% of your mental process. If your root or your Martian energy is in charge, you will be somebody who is focused on self, give money, fuck bitches. In general, that's the idea. You're not thinking about when you're 80 and 90 and what your life's going to be. You're not thinking about what becomes of the branch that you create. This is why there are a lot of broken homes, because these are things that were created from people to people with disrupted root chakras. That just creates broken homes, broken roots, and children who will one day have to heal these broken roots, these disturbed foundations, if they can, because if not, then they'll perpetuate the pattern, and then the children that they have from that union will have to find a way to fix it. Like, what is love? What is relationships? How do I learn to actually care about another human? Which is a crazy thing, right? But I recognize that there's sometimes even a level that some parents can't get to because they didn't receive love from their parent or the parent before them, or that parent was always chasing relationships, so they didn't give them what they needed. So there is a bittersweet twist there where there can be two different ways it goes, maybe even a mixed. There's the person who goes and seeks love like their parent did because they didn't get it from their parent, or there's the person who cuts it off because they realized how much of the pursuit of love and being loved destroyed a specific parent. Those things, those feelings, those memories and emotions are kept in what? The root chakra. All of the parts of you that are running in your subconscious, your base mind. You ever have a moment when you do something and it might not be immediately, but you regret it later and you're like, dang, why did I do that? Your reptilian brain. You jumped off a trigger. You ran off your dragon. And that has been my theme. Just started today. Look at me, look at my fake watch. How to train your dragon. We all have a dragon. It's our inner beast, our inner reptile, that inner Martian, that me or no one else energy, right? If your dragon is leading, what are you building? Dragons don't build, they burn things down. If your dragon is in charge, are you creating something that you won't burn down eventually with the behavior that comes along with the dragon, the tyrant? And this can be male or female. I've seen plenty of women who had a family, had daughters who don't talk to them anymore. And why don't they talk to that mother anymore? Because she held such a hand or a fist over the family in a way that nobody wants to be around her once they grew up. Lots of guys like that too. So the base of this message revolves around people who want to do better, who pray to do better, typically in a situation where stuff is going wrong. You know, one of those repentance moments like, dear God, if you get me out of this, I promise, I won't ever put myself in that position again. Then as soon as you get saved from that, what happens? You go right back to doing the same things you were doing. I personally was dealing with a situation with one particular guy, right? I was sent to do a thing, even magically, even though it was more spiritually than me. I wasn't doing candles and stuff, but just like you can pray for somebody. God can say, intercede, pray for this person, look out for them, cover them. I know their potential. There's something, there's a diamond in the rough there. Did all that. And I waited in patience for years. And then when I went to look, after he had got through the hard stuff, and he didn't need to pray every day anymore, and his life wasn't so dark, what did he do? He went right back to the same type of person that he was before. Maybe a little smarter about the things that he was doing that got him in trouble in the first place. But the changes in behavior that he was trying to make or moving towards, not the same anymore. The thing that he doesn't know is that it's not God now that is blessing him. That's the devil, because the devil can bless you too. Now, this is a person that knows the devil is after their soul. The devil gives you rewards too for perpetuating things that keep people in their root. If you are a person with a position of power and what you sell to the people, the idea that you promote, what you use your influence for, because that's what this is about. God gave you that influence. In that movie Sinners I was talking about, somebody literally just wrote on my post. They was like, hold on, in that movie Sinners, the demons had a building full of people, but the only person they wanted was that dude who had the light, because they said if they were able to get a contract on his light, on his singing voice, and get him to sing about something that would lead more souls to hell, then it would help their clan. They were willing to give him the world. That's how the devil gives you gifts, by taking the influence that God gave you to give to other people and making you use it for something that it is an inversion that will lead those people who were supposed to be led to heaven through your light to hell, based upon whatever it is, your trauma that you were sharing, your toxicity that you were sharing and promoting with these other people. So got a position where a person is thinking, oh, God, let me out of that. I'm good now. Stuff is coming back. He must favor me again. No, baby, the devil tempted you back into what you were doing. And God just stepped back because you made your decision through your actions. Your actions when you was praying and down in the bottom was completely something different than once you started coming back up and the heat got off you. Now, the messed up thing is the devil never plays fair. He gives you things so he can watch you as you fall into the little traps that you don't know he has set along the way, like different people. A good example of this is Samson and Delilah. Samson thought he was cool, thought he found like Delilah, not knowing the whole time Delilah was a snake. In the real world, Delilah would have spent the block months, years later, like, hey, this guy raped me, right? But you got set up and you didn't know you got set up, where that laying with snakes will always get you bit. Playing in toxic and venom when you think you're immune is a sure way to find out that you are not. You can't play with God and promise A, B, C, D, or run back and forth without a punishment. And I have learned that The punishment is God removing his hand and letting the devil do what he will with you, because the devil always has a trap to make sure that anybody who got involved with your toxicity goes with you, and you go at the end of the day for using your influence for that thing. There are always traps. There is no thing that the devil does not put in front of you that is not meant to lead you back to coming here again, or a downfall that is so bad that you take yourself out. That's just the general thing. Look how many people in the last couple of years, me on my other fake watch, have watched their kingdom fall based upon the things they did once they got the rewards, based upon the character that they showed behind doors. Because in front of the camera, 5:55 on the clock, everybody's like this. Are you worthy of that cross you wear on your body? Is Christ in you, or is it just on you? Are you wearing a Christian mask, or do you live by that life? There's a difference. And guess what? You might be able to hide it to everybody else, family, friends, whatever the case may be, and rock with the God coat, because a lot of people do. And that's why I believe a lot of people have fallen away from religion, have fallen into atheism, because so many people who claim to be Christians or about God don't show that character, and it ruins the faith for others. They start blaming other people for things that weren't God in the first place. So don't lose your coat. Don't lose your armor. Don't let other people dissuade you from doing the things that you know are right, or the promises you made, because temptation is more fun than that. There's always a price that comes along with temptation. Now, I woke up this morning and I guess my mom was salty about something, but I had this idea in mind. I was like, dang, there sure are a lot of fornicators out here that got a problem with astrology and tarot. I mean, damn, we ain't supposed to be eating seafood bowls either, but I don't see no post talking about people going to hell for that. And that was just me going through my own stuff. But in general, the idea, the feeling just was, people will judge you for the things they feel uncomfortable with while doing something on the same line. Guys, if this Bible is supposed to be, or the Mormon books, or whatever the case, are supposed to be the blueprints for the rules that we follow to have a successful life here and then to be exalted, they all say that each sin is created equally, none greater than the other. So you eating a seafood boil, I'm reading these cards, we burning together according to that book. I see a lot of people who don't have a problem with promiscuous lifestyles, drinking and drugging as a form of existence. Like, when are you ever sober? No, there is no sobriety. That doesn't exist. But for them, that's fine, because they believe in God, and God knows their heart. God knows your heart. Satan calculates your debt. These are things done against the heart. And that's why I got stuck with this grateful heart, when I didn't know what the heart thing was, but I trusted myself to just click it. But is your heart in alignment with who you truly are in your Christ spark? Your Christ spark is your guard energy. Like, you know how the Transformers have a spark in the middle that helps them transform? I think that's a very spiritual thing too. Optimus Prime would be our Archangel Michael, the first angel. But they all have a core in them, and without that core, they can't transform. They can't grow into who they were meant to be in the grander scheme of things. It's the same thing here. If you close your heart, if your heart got broken, you decided you weren't going to use that anymore, your body, your life force starts pulling from your root. You're no longer pulling in source or new energy. You are just recycling the hurt and the pain and energy that has been blocked or stagnant in that root chakra, in that reptilian brain, in that cycle energy that just wants to drag you down, like you're in a whole retrograde wave. Once your heart is like open to receive, you might not let the things that drew you in the past pull you back into them. So for instance, you had a horrible ex to screwed you over, right? This is just an example. I'm pulling this out of nowhere. I hope it don't trigger nobody. You have a horrible ex that broke your heart. You start doing good in life. You're doing well. You meet somebody that could be cool, and then this ex happens to pop up and say something to you. Now, either you run back to the ex, or you decide, you know what, I don't even want to date this new person, because what happened with that person messed me up, and just seeing their face ruined my day. But that is when you are letting your heart wound lead you, as opposed to you saying, I closed that door, and I'm going to allow my new healed heart, my new heart energy that I just got, to be used towards planning something new, because my new story is nothing like my old one, because I'm not working without God like I was doing the other time when I got screwed over. Don't disconnect yourself when you're going through something difficult. That's actually the time when you need source, God, whatever you call it, the most. Don't be afraid to let God into the spaces where there are difficulties. Now, I think that's where the addictions and all that stuff are kicking most people's ass. You can pray to God about an addiction. You can pray to God about sex problems. You can pray about sadness, depression. You can pray about anything. Like, God's the big homie. Is the best way to say that. Like anything. Like, God, please get in there. There's nowhere in my life that you cannot touch. And there are a lot of people who are giving God limited access to their existence because they don't want God to see certain parts of them, but you see it anyway. And due to the legal rights of Satan, which is where I was going a second ago, all of those things fall on his board. So God sees you as your loving baby, right? But on the flip side, we got Satan, who has legal rights over things that he has given here. That is marriage outside sex outside of marriage, right? Excess of anything. That's how I like to just blanket sin in general. If you have too much of something, somebody else does not have enough. You notice how when you start eating too much of your favorite food and you start doing too much of your favorite thing, it doesn't hit the same. You need more and more to fill it. And then as you get there, it just feels emptier. That's what sin is. I don't want to like just nail it as one thing. And the only reason I included sex before or outside of marriage, like you can fall down and get back up again and then like say, I'm not doing it no more. That's still cool. But because there is an energetic tether that connects between you and every single person that you have sex with, even when you break up or you stop sleeping with them, unless you do like a cord cutting or baptism or something like that spiritually, every one of those cords is still pulling out of your energy in some way, shape, or form. I'm going to say in this moment that they're only pulling from your heart or your root chakra or your sacral. It's only the lower ones that they're pulling from. But either way, depending on the number of people you've been with, that could be a lot of energy, a lot of stuff that you are picking up that's not yours, but mainly it's keeping your vibration low. What happens when your vibration is low? It's harder to hear God. Sometimes you can't even hear it at all. What you're hearing is your ego, and you think it's God. Like, go ahead, continue to do that. I will forgive you. And it's not. It's not God at all. That's the devil. Like, yes, keep it up, player. You got this. You know what? That was just a little setback. It's all good now. No, because and I don't know exactly, because I don't know about occults or nothing. I've heard about this satanic law thing the hard way, guys. But if you have something that you know is not of God, that came from there, at any time, the dealer can call house and yank it all back. In your chart, Pisces is the area where it can get yanked all back. That's karma, that's balance, that's the debt, that is what is owed. In another video, I will talk to you guys about what is owed to you. Like you getting good karma back, dharma, as opposed to what gets snatched from you because you got it through. I don't want to say ill-gotten gains because it's not technically, I mean, you might have did the work for it. You might have did A, B, C, and D. But the vibration that it was based in when it was created belonged not to the Most High, but the Most Low. Anything like that can get snatched. And the best example I can give y'all right now is Mr. Combs on that stand. It looked like he was winning for a long time, but it's because the devil was building up a case in the background. Now, even if he gets off here, this goes back to that praying in the cell or praying when you want punishment and then doing the same thing when you get off. His punishment, if he gets off this time, will be 10 times worse because he played in God's face. So what happens when you play in God's face? He just takes his hands off you. I do not believe that God is a wrathful God. Doesn't like doing that, but he can turn his back while your ass is getting whooped for a second until he's like, okay, I can turn back around. Have you had enough of that? Are you ready to do it right? I believe we are in a world, and we keep getting God is not dead movies, right? But that is absolutely taking God for granted. And it really is all behind that. God knows my heart. He knows your heart, but he knows your actions as well. Sometimes your actions are more indicative of what the content of your heart is than we care to admit. Like you knew the right thing. You knew what you were supposed to do, but you went back to the bad thing. So if you're the person, and there's somebody here today that stopped treading on their journey, who got tired, who thought it was better to cycle back or even to get stagnant. You ain't even have to super go back. But if you fell off on your path to do better, staying stagnant only makes you run back. If you were an alcoholic that had been sober for a certain amount of time and you thought just because you got sober for that time that it was okay to drink occasionally, you are slowly being set up for a big downfall. That's the energy of this. If you are not moving forward, you might not see it yet, but you are moving backwards. If you were doing the same thing that kept you bound before, that you prayed to get out of, the binding is going to be tighter now because we are Judgment Day. You are being judged on your heart. You are being judged on your heart. And it's like the balancer is your actions, because I'm seeing like a math thing here. Like the contents of your heart, how many times you actually followed that heart? And then your whole like list of actions. What did you do though? So I'm going to pull now for what the message is. I talked y'all ear off at the beginning of that, but it really felt like that was heavy on me. Don't stop your trek. Don't stop your trek when it looks like you're in the clear. That's a test too. A big test came during COVID, like for everybody. What if that was the big like era where God was like, that's my magnifying glass. Like to see what we did, not only during COVID, but what we did after we came back out. We were supposed to be, as a group, we were supposed to be holding hands like kumbaya and loving each other after we got separated from seeing anyone. I hate to say it, but I think we got worse as a collective. So let's see what I am meant to be delivering today. I'm going to actually start with the Dark Goddess, which is sort of the energy I walked in here with. Lately, I ain't been so much love and light. Very look at humanity. Like this is not the house the Lord has made. So what message does the collective need today? What Dark Goddess message does the collective need today? Then we're just gonna see where it goes from there. This is the Mother Day, 6:06 on the clock. That's what Mother Earth would say. That's not the same goddess, but they look alike. Okay. No. So behind the energy of seduction that is currently the face of the feminine as it's being put out into the world, everybody is extremely over sexualized, right? Concealment. And this just caught me off guard because this looks like the same goddess, but it's not. But maybe it is in like different pantheons, right? This is hell. That's the goddess Hell, guys. So hell is being concealed. Hell is concealing the control. And this is a dragon. Tiamat is a dragon goddess. But underneath the revenge, I said review. Revenge is being plotted from a throne. Now that's the queen of hell. That's the energy I'm feeling here. So Inyana traditionally is the queen of heaven, but she's in charge of war, love, sexuality, all the beautiful parts of our feminine energy. Right now, female empowerment is it's supposed to be this, but she is in charge of sacred prostitutes or prostitutes in general. But that energy was cherished, revered, held up high. Women were at a certain standard. I started this video off explaining that that's not the case. The patriarchy has put them at a vibration they're not to be kept at, technically. Women are supposed to be revered. They are the owners of this planet. Like Venus was the ruler of Earth. Earth is a girl place. It started off all female, right? Like Jurassic Park. In the background, I'm going to say based on this spread, is the divine feminine rising. Can y'all imagine a world where all the women just said, yeah, we're going to stop giving y'all pussy? Because that's what I felt in this moment. Like a disgust with the state of the masculine causes a wave of shutdown. I mean, they done gave them enough toys now. Technically, you don't need a man per se to have a baby. And girls like girls too. So I'm just trying to think how would they possibly change the way that women started working amongst and with each other as a way to make things come into balance for all that has been taken through control of the feminine energy. I just heard ain't no fun when the rabbits got the gun. I love that for us. But if I was going to be loving, light, and open-hearted, I would say the only way we can truly come into balance is through love, through like sacred love, through everybody opening their hearts again. That's where the infinite blessings are for real. You can only lock in to blessings that don't have a cost through God. Everything the devil gives you has a price. Everything you participate in that you know is his stuff has a price. It's just not listed on the label. The devil runs a real fancy restaurant, and as soon as you walk in, you get a menu, but the price ain't on none of those items. But you can tell by looking at the options that, baby, you about to run up a check. You don't care until the check comes to the table when it's time to leave. Okay? I don't think it's listed anywhere. I haven't seen that if you run up a tab here and you die when you get down there, he has your soul for however many lifetimes for that check that you racked up. And I think maybe the idea of losing your soul to somebody getting your soul is you just imagining you down there in hell in chains and stuff. And for some people, I'm pretty sure that's the case. But the worst outcome, in my opinion, is the one where you have to do errands for the devil lifetime after lifetime. You have to go up there and create something evil or be something evil, which is against your regular nature because you got tripped into something. He only tricks people that are important to God. Everybody else is going to fall for regular stuff anyway. If you have an influence, if you have a light, if you have a position that you are meant to be in, and this can be in your family, this can be in your neighborhood, you can be a manager at a grocery store, you can be a cashier that makes everybody's day. If you are put in a position to have influence, that you're supposed to be bringing light in that place, you can think about school teachers. Think about your favorite elementary school teacher, and if she had not been there. I said she, but it could have been a he. But that's just what popped in my head. How different would your life have been without that elementary school teacher? If that teacher had sold their influence to the devil, technically, in order to get more stuff behind the scenes while they did their job. This life is temporary, guys. What happens to your soul, what you do with your soul, what you do with your soul energy and your connection with relationship is forever. The devil don't care about none of that. Yeah, he's having a blast. This place is like his playground right now. Vegas is like the culmination of his kingdom. And there's a song that tells you his bigger long-term plan. It's called All of the Lights. And the goal in there is sort of until it's Vegas everywhere we are. That's what's happening here. So guys, if you still made it to this point in the video and you didn't get offended, part one, but if you still have the humble enough heart, because you can get offended. Damn, we all messed up sometimes. Like I just cussed. I hate that. I'm trying not to all the time. But if you still have the heart to keep working, keep trying while you're in the middle of the game being tempted by so many things, there is a reward that does not cost anything because it's what you were meant to have in the first place. If you were somebody who had an inheritance you were supposed to have and you didn't make it up to that inheritance because of your behavior, guess what happens? It gets sent back. You don't get it. It goes somewhere else to somebody. You could have millions, and that's just stuff. You can have spiritual millions that end up being different things down here. There is a bank, and I'm going to see if I can find anything online elsewhere about, but I found it in astrology. There is a celestial inheritance points banks that is in everybody's chart. If you got a retrograde, you owe. Don't even worry about that. There is a reward system based upon you doing what you're supposed to despite temptation. For instance, with Jesus, the whole cross thing I was talking about, all he wanted was his wife. He had to wait 30 something years for her to finally come back around. But he said, I'll go ahead and I'll do what you want me to, God. I will give up everything that I was living before and live in this stride. All I ask for is a companion. That's all they asked for, period, guys. I went back and watched the Barbie movie again. And in the first 5 minutes, I got it. Something I didn't even notice before. Barbie wanted to do A, B, C, and D. She had all this stuff going on. She was that girl. And then they get to Ken, and what is Ken doing? All Ken wanted was Barbie. He just wanted to be next to her to see what she was doing, like want to hang out, just because that's the way the energy of the masculine originally worked before the Martian thing. The primary masculine energy is Libra. It's balance. That's what they're supposed to do, right? I'm trying to decide if I should pull this up on the screen. I will. Please forgive any little lags that pop up here. Rihanna's so pretty. She just popped up on my screen. I'm spelling something all wrong. So let me share. Philatos is the original name of the spear. I love how it corrects me when I spell stuff wrong, right? It's the original divine will, the masculine energy of God, right? And it means desire or longing for. Because even though he was able to create everything in the universe, the stars, the planets, and the story of Genesis is the recreation of the universe story and how that happened. So we have Thelatos, aka Christ Michael, right? Up there creating everything, and then he still felt like there was something missing. There was still a feeling in his chest. This is the same feeling that happened when he was Earth Jesus, right? That longing created Sophia, which is another name for Barbella, Barbie, right? Every masculine energy builds a kingdom or begins a kingdom and then seeks or longs or desires for a partner to share it with so that it can expand. If masculine energies are solid in their principle, right? They give the structure. The feminine energy and the contents of that feminine energy are what help your kingdom expand or contract. So pick your partner wisely. Don't close your heart to a partner. Because that one time after you're heartbroken, if you're doing it for the wrong reasons, that you let somebody bypass you, somebody that you know is perfectly good and you let your pain get in the way, that could have been the one that would have been healing for all the other things that you went through. I've been praying lately and I've just been saying, dear God, I'll be praying a lot, y'all. Please make whatever is coming in the future worth what I had to release in the past. Because I don't understand why I had to go away. Sometimes I was just happy with it, like I was riding along. But there was a moment where I was like, hold on. What if I'm praying to keep something and God has a whole theme park over there, right? I'm over here complaining about the local merry-go-round. Like, no, don't make me go home yet, Daddy. I don't want to. Dad done set up a at-home carnival for you. Don't block your blessings holding on to your heartbreak or things that have already had their price paid for. Like all your pain, all your suffering. If you know nothing else, know that you can say, I allow you to come into my life. In every corner, there is no part of me that you cannot see, and remove anything that is keeping you from me. That's how you get safe on home base. But don't play with God, y'all. Do not say that you're going to do one thing and fall back. It's different. Like if you're an addict, you're on crack or something, you're like, oh my God, sorry, I relapsed. It's crack. It's serious. He understands that. But you can't just say, like, dear God, come in here, fix all this. And then as soon as it gets fixed, be like, hoax. Okay, guys, do it with the sincerity of your heart and then move forward. What it was doesn't have to be what it's going to be. If there's a new you, there's a new storyline. If you don't understand this, check out the movie The Free Guy. Y'all have a good day.